Welcome back once again. As in the last session we talked about tense, and I have told you people that we talked about only active sentences. So today we are going to talk about the passive sentences. So before I get into the details of it, let me first tell you how to identify whether a sentence is an active sentence or a passive sentence. So the definition is very simple. Now, as you all know that a sentence contains a subject and a verb and an object. Object can be there or cannot be there. But then so to understand an active and a passive sentences, we need to understand the relationship between subject and verb. There are many sentences wherein the subject does the action. For example, if you say, he plays cricket, I speak English, they speak a lot, he asks me question. Here in all these sentences you see that the subject is doing that verb. So the sentences where subject is the doer of the action is known as an active sentences. Similarly, what is a passive sentences? There also the relationship between subject and verb has to be understood. But then here the difference is like the subject is not doing the action, but the action is happening on the subject. For example, if I say cricket is played all over the world. So here the subject is cricket and then the verb is played. But then is it cricket that is playing or it is cricket which is being played? So when the subject does the action, that's an active sentences, and when the action happens on the subject, that becomes a passive sentences. There are other details that we need to understand once we move ahead. But the question comes, why is there a need of passive sentences? So there are two cases basically. One is like sometimes we don't know who the doer is. We are not aware who has done the action. For example, हिंदी में लोग कहते हैं ना कि दुकानें जला दी गई, मिठाइयाँ बांटी जा रही थी, चौके छक्के मारे जा रहे हैं. All these sentences. So you don't know who the action is doing, but the action is happening. For example, if I say दुकानें जला दी गई, ये कौन सा टेंस है? सिंपल पास्ट है. तो we'll say shops were burnt. मिठाइयाँ बांटी जा रही हैं, कौन सा टेंस है? प्रेजेंट कंटिन्यूअस. We'll say sweets are being distributed. So one case is like where the doer is unknown, who has done the action, or the other case could be like it is not that important who has done the action, but what has happened is more important. We focus more on the receiver of the action. For example, we say मेरी गाड़ी चोरी हुई. किसने चोरी की वो important नहीं, but क्या चोरी हुई, that is more important. So we say my car has been stolen. So sometimes there are two cases. Either the subject is either we do not know who the doer is, or the other case is like we don't know, we don't want to give importance to the doer, but we want to give importance to the action on which it has happened. The other thing is like, how do we identify whether a sentence is an active or a passive sentence? That is also very easy. Even if you don't know the meaning, you'll be able to understand whether a sentence is an active or a passive sentences. So generally you will see with is, am, are, was, were, be, been, you'll find verb third form with all these things. With is you will have V3, with was you will have V3, with were you will have V3, with be you will have V3, with been you will have V3. So when you have V3 with all these verbs, that is a passive sentence. For example, I'll say he is beaten, I was called, they were beaten, he has been invited, I have been punished, they had been rewarded. All these sentences, it will be done. So there is a passive sentences. So we'll now talk about the structure. So as we talked about the active structure, similarly we have the passive structure. For simple present, subject plus is, am, are plus V3 plus object. Cricket is played. Then by plus doer. If we want to talk about the doer, we'll use by plus doer. For example, cricket is played by me. Present continuous, subject plus is, am, are plus being, being, being plus V3 plus object. Cricket is being played all over the world. Present perfect, subject plus have plus been plus V3. He has been invited by them. We don't make the perfect passive of perfect continuous, whether it is of present perfect continuous, whether it is of past perfect continuous, whether it is of future perfect continuous, and future continuous also. The simple reason could be like when we make a passive sentences, we use the form of be. So in English, all these sentences have already have the form of be. For example, in perfect continuous you have been form, in future continuous you have be form. So that is the explanation in a layman's term. In Hindi you can make, for example, वो लोग कई दिनों से क्रिकेट खेलते आ रहे हैं, क्रिकेट उनके द्वारा कई दिनों से खेली जा रही है. But in English you cannot say he has been playing cricket for many days. So been is already there. So when we make a passive sentence, we use the form of be. That's why we will not make the passive of present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous, and future continuous. So simple past, subject plus was were plus V3 plus object. He was beaten by lunatics. Past continuous, subject plus was were plus being plus V3 plus object. They were being invited by me. Past perfect, subject plus had plus been plus V3 plus object. The match had been won by them. Past perfect continuous, no passive. Future continuous, subject plus will be, shall be plus V3 plus object. A car will be bought by them. Future continuous, no passive. Future perfect, the match will have been won by them. The match will have been won by them. So we'll try to practice more of active and passive sentences individually, because there are other things that we need to understand in this. So for today this is enough. You have my number, that is 8581818184. Whatever issues or challenges you find, please call me. I'll be more than happy to help you. You can call me or message me. Thank you.